We have a question over there.
Yeah, I was actually, if you could comment, I understand that you didn't actually have this song during the course of the filming.
Right.
You didn't actually have Fight the Power to be listening to. So how did that play out?
Well, I didn't try to walk in beat. That was one thing. They could come up with any kind of song, and I'm all off beat. You know what I mean? So I just carried the thing, you know. And Public Enemy was like my favorite group. I was thrilled to be associated with them, and they would hang out with us, you know, on the set. A lot of people came to that set just to hang out too. You know what I mean? Chris Rock, and guys who hadn't really blown up yet. You know what I mean?
And Stevie Wonder come?
I mean, a lot of people
Eddie
came.
Murphy.
Janet Jackson. People were like, you know, it was a different time. This is really like the only thing happening for black people. Spike at first. When we did School Days, a lot of people don't realize it's only 20 years ago, but black people weren't in film. This was really some historic stuff that we were doing, you know, and I think we realized that, especially on School Days, we realized it, but I think we were disappointed in the amount of people that saw the film. It wasn't the hit we thought it would be. So Do the Right Thing, we felt was very important too. You know, and you could feel it on the set, you know what I mean? We all dressed together even, you know what I mean? We all were in the school and we had like, you know, little...
No trailers.
We had little cubicles that were like cloth. So you could like hear people. I mean, it was crazy because I was right next to Ruby Dee and R.C. Davis. You know what I'm saying? I'm like listening to their conversations, and I'm like, I don't want to hear it. It's Ruby Dee and R.C. You sound like real people. Come on. So it was like it was a love fest. It really was, you know. I mean, I just met Martin for the first time, and he was so hilarious. Every day I would say, do the boxer, man, the punch drunk boxer. And he, you know, I like to thank all the people. You know, I went to the first round. He had me. You know, and there were Gunslinger Comics that came to the set that tried to top Robin Harris, which was crazy. He was like Matt Dillon. He was shooting all of them down. Robin Harris was the funniest cat anybody had ever seen, you know. So I never said nothing to him that was out of line. I saw him tear some people up, you know what I mean? I was like, hi, Robin, how are you? Robin Harris and Martin Lawrence were living together in Brooklyn on that movie. So Robin was talking about, you know, Martin's so cheap, man, you know. I told him, you know, I said, man, let's just put in $10 a piece and we get some stuff from the crib, you know, toilet paper and stuff like that. He said, Martin said, man, I don't shit that much. And then Martin would tell lies on him, you know what I mean? So.
We have a question over here.
I have a question. Just being that you both worked with Spike on multiple films, and I'm proud to say I have the complete Spike Lee collection at home. Tell me, what did it feel like to have to act through, I guess, the evolution of different black male characters on film?
Excuse me now, one more time.
I was saying, since that you've both done multiple films with Spike Lee, and how did it feel to have to depict the black male, you know, the evolution of the black male on film through Spike Lee's filmography?
Tremendous opportunity. I just feel so blessed to be in the same generation with our brother, who has brought so many people with him, men and women, certainly in front of the camera, but behind the camera as well. And if there's one legacy that Mr. Lee will leave with us, it's that he has literally changed the complexion of American filmmaking. And I mean that from an actor's standpoint, of course, but from a total filmmaker's standpoint as well.
Yeah,
And
people
from-
don't realize the
yeah.
number of filmmakers that came out of Spike Lee's camp.
Right.
They were PAs back in the day, now they're filmmakers, you know.
Right.
No, I'm sorry to cut you.
No, no, no.
So the
And then, as an actor, to have been able to have played the range of characters that I've played in Spike Lee films, from a crazed fraternity pledge to this, street artist, to this guy, big time Willie, driving the drop-top Benz in Coney Island, to, a cop with a big afro looking for the Son of Sam, and another cop going to the Million Man March, and then finally playing Huey P. Newton. In a project where I actually got to hire Spike. I haven't worked with him since. But I think that was a process he was trying to empower me. To have had that opportunity. I don't think that De Niro and Scorsese have worked in that kind of eclectic range. And they're supposed to be the preeminent actor, director, partners in American cinema. So, and Bill has played a great range of characters as well.
Who were
Yeah.
some of those actors, filmmakers that came out of Spike Lee's camp?
Well, first of all, Ernest Dickerson, who was Spike's DP, director of photography.
Darnell Martin.
Darnell Martin, James Bond III.
Millicent Shelton.
Millicent. There's more I can't think of right now, but actually people who have done films, multiple films since then, who were just like PAs back in the day. They were kids, and we were hanging out with them. And Ernest not only had become his own filmmaker, but he's hired me like 2 or 3 times. I mean, I've done at least 2 films with Ernest, so it's really been, I mean, people have to appreciate what Spike Lee has done, and it's been massive, in my opinion, really massive for black people in film, in the world of film.
What was a thing that we did on Showtime? It was set in New Orleans, and Giancarlo and
Right.
Cinda
You,
Williams.
Yeah.
It was an adaptation
It was Walter Mosley.
of Walter Mosley's short story. You remember this? We came onto the set, and it's a totally black cast, and it was entirely white crew. And we went to the producer and said, you know what? We come out of a different camp. This was out in L.A. We come out of a different camp, and,
We need some black people
yeah,
helping us out.
we need, this is an entirely black cast, adapted from
Walter Mosley.
Walter Mosley, a black novelist, and we're not represented behind the camera. And the next day, a black second unit crew showed up. And I think that's,
And you know what?
that's part of
I
the lesson.
think that we didn't so much intimidate them, but remind them.
Right.
They didn't have a problem with having black people, but you have to remind them sometime. And that was actually one of my favorite films that I've ever done. And I can't find that film. I don't know how to get it.
Is it called Fearless?
It's called Fearless. And me, you, and Giancarlo,
And
and
Cinda
Cinda Williams was the femme fatale.